The year was 1933, and America was in the midst of the Great Depression. The economic climate in Lynchburg, Virginia, like the rest of the country, was bad. At the age of almost 50, Donald Graham Moore, a husband and father, lost his job at the Craddock Terry Shoe Company. It was in that moment that Moore became an entrepreneur. He knew what the shoe factories of the region needed, so Moore pulled together his family savings, founded a small startup selling leather and findings, a business that would be known as Moore Giles.
I think my grandfather, was honest to a fault. And I think it was all about honor and having a broad circle of friends and people respecting. I think he had tremendous respect. And he just had a way. You looked at him and you could tell this is what a Virginia gentleman was all about.
In 1935, Moore was joined by his son-in-law, Vernon Giles, and the company known as Moore Giles was born. But as quick as Giles joined in the family business, things changed at home.
And then he was drafted in 42 and was gone for 4 years.
It was World War II. And Giles headed off to answer the country's call to serve, to return home a decorated war hero.
My father was a wonderful salesman. He was much more of a salesman than he was a businessman.
Don joined the company in 1966, and he and his father Vernon began leading a small but scrappy team of salesmen through the 60s and 70s.
I think I just decided that that's what I wanted to do. Everybody else was filling out job applications, and I did have a chemical company I thought was going to offer me a job until I interviewed. I'd been up too late the night before, and my Haspel suit had gotten wet. And I tried to wash it in the bathtub, and I went to the interview in a wet suit. And so I never heard from those guys. I would have been somewhere in New Jersey. And so I figured a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush, so I better go back and see if I can get a job at Moore Giles.
Moore Giles had begun to grow beyond footwear and was now selling leather to the world-renowned furniture makers of North Carolina. And it could not have happened sooner. In 1980, Moore Giles' largest client, Craddock Terry Shoe Company, the same one Moore had originally been laid off from in 1933, closed their doors for good.
Craddock Terry was very important to us, and they had, I think at that time, they had 9 factories. They were 40% of our total business. And when Craddock Terry went out, we just felt like, this might be the end. But then thought better of it and said, we can do something else. We can change.
Then in 1990, a young man by the name of Sackett Wood joined Moore Giles. Wood quickly saw the company's current path led to trading on price, like a commodity. Instead, Wood pushed to pivot Moore Giles to look at a more fashion-focused approach to leather.
And once it got down to a certain price level, we realized that there was, no end in sight, and that it just made it clear to us that we had to make a change. We did look around at leathers that we did like, that were appealing, that were in other markets like ready to wear and footwear and handbags. And we thought, why can't we have leathers like that? And so we took some inspiration from those markets and found a partner in Spain who was willing to give it a try. And even he, when he finished it, said, I don't think this is really an upholstery leather. This would be better suited for handbags or footwear. We're like, well, if it's good for footwear and handbags, we think we can sell it in home furnishings.
Soon after, Wood was joined by Trey Petty. Petty, like Wood, was a Lynchburg native son, and these two young businessmen began a journey that has lasted through 3 decades.
We were both wrestlers in high school, and I remember taking you to summer wrestling tournaments at Heritage High School.
I do remember that.
You gained about 5 pounds, weighed about 75 pounds.
If that.
Yeah. Well, I would say we get along so well because we don't always get along.
we were good at agreeing to disagree.
Yeah. And so I don't think there's any there's anything one won't say to the other, whether it's good or bad, about whether you like something, whether you disagree with somebody's opinion. I think it's a pretty open.
And I think that's for sure. And I think the biggest thing is we've been through some things, and a lot of people would have just said the heck with it, and we're done with each other. I think, probably some not so great times.
Well, I would tell you that for sure Trey's a guy that can be counted on, no matter what. So, just know that he's going to be there, and whatever the problem is, no matter how great it is, I mean, that's really what I consider a true partner.
Whenever I get in a situation, whether it be business or personal, I go, how would Sackett handle this, react to it, say about it, write about it. And I think that to me is I guess that's what I respect, or that's just that is what I respect about Sackett.
Wood and Petty, along with a small team of hungry and loyal associates, started to reshape the way our world views leather. They hustled to develop leathers that felt as honest and hardworking as their Virginia roots, and along the way saw the challenges of natural leather as a gap in the marketplace.
I think we believed in them, and we pushed them. I mean, that a lot of people have it and show it, and then they didn't believe like we did. I don't think. I think some people they have one little problem, they go, oh, let's back up and not do that. And we never really backed down from it, and we have plenty of problems. And most problems, people would have quit. I mean, I think that's the biggest difference between us and everybody else.
I think that the end of that is that very first leather, we still sell that leather 25 years later. It's still in our warehouse today, and there are still orders for it.
By 2009, Moore Giles had created 8 new natural leathers in hundreds of colors that the world had never seen before. These leathers have since been used by the world's most elite designers, in the finest of restaurants and hotels, and in the most luxurious homes in the world. Today, our goal is to enrich, inspire, and serve our customers, our people, and our community through our business at Moore Giles. We are a leather company. This is our heritage.